What's happening, my nerds? It's your retro future boy Ricky Summer here. Today I've come back in time to return to Frostpunk. I am so glad that you guys are just so severely into this game. I'm more than happy to bring you more videos of this. So I wanted to wait until full release. This is full release. Welcome to 1.0 of Frostpunk. I wanted to wait because I was hoping to get a glimpse at the other modes, the other scenarios, but it looks like they're not there. So I can only assume that we have to play the campaign, the main story, to unlock them. I hope that's what's going on. So I've played in total about 20 hours of Frostpunk so far. I feel a little bit equipped, so I'd like to start off this video with some pro tips. It's almost going to be like a little bit of a short couple-minute how-to video. So we're going to partially play to the objectives here. So first thing we need to do is find coal. Well, what I'd like to do is, before we do anything else, I'm going to assign 15 workers to coal over here, 15 workers to coal over here just because I want to get rid of it. It looks lonely over there. 15 workers to wood here, and we're gonna do, is that what we're gonna do? We'll do that, I think. So I want all that wood, and I'm going to start getting steel. We don't need steel right away, but it's going to be important. And for the first day, that's pretty much all I'm going to do. I am going to speed up time. The purpose of this is so that we can get that coal stockpile that it requires for this objective here. We can get that done really quickly before we even turn on the generator. I feel like that might even be how the game intends you to play it. We also need a lot of wood, and it's really helpful to have a huge stockpile of wood early on. We should also pass a law to start off with. Now, let's go have a look at our law book, and the way I see it, we've got one of two options. We can say child labor, which will get us more workers early on, which is absolutely useful. Our second option is emergency shift, which is going to allow us to essentially get a burst of resources when we need it in a pinch, right? For example, it's nighttime, there's no working shift going on, and the generator's running out of coal. Shit, pump an emergency shift on the coal mine so we can get that thing going right away, right? I'm actually going to go with child labor to start off with here. So children can work in safe workplaces. Hope will fall slightly. Child workers can be injured in accidents. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be too severe. All right, there we go. So we will get emergency shifts after this, make no mistake. It'll probably be the next law that we pass. But one of those two is probably a good idea. So what we're planning to do here is just rush to the beacon so that we can get our scouts out. And we've got our stockpile, by the way. We've got more than our stockpile. So let's turn on the generator and we're good to go. So what I want to do, now it's asking for food. Let's pause the game again. Yeah, I wanna rush that beacon so we can get our scouts out and get our first group of survivors in ASAP. So while we do this, I have played significantly more of the campaign. Like, I've gotten very much further than you saw in my previous 3 videos. I'm just going to put the cookhouse here. I want to put the cookhouse in the center ring because I feel it's more important to have the cookhouse specifically closest to the generator rather than tents, because tents don't stop working when they're cold, right? The cookhouse does, and if that stops working, we run out of food, essentially. So I'm going to put the cookhouse here. I think that's all right. And then, as a little bit of a pro tip sort of thing here, not to pass myself off as the guy who knows everything about the game, because I'm sure I know only a fraction of it. I just got a little bit of head start on everyone. So what I've done here is just put out some guide roads. Now, the reason I've done this, I'll just show you real quick, is because tents normally don't fit in within that space, right? I think there's a little bit of an overhang or an underhang, and it makes it a little bit awkward when you try to snap things along that line on either side. So by putting the guide roads there, it actually kind of forces the tent to adjust size just a little bit. Now there's only a little bit of give, but that's something I've noticed, and it works with all plots. So if you've got a wedge that you want to slip in somewhere and there's just a tiny bit of an overhang either way, slap in a little road guide first, and then it'll say, all right, I see what you want to do, I'll take up the whole space. It's actually really cool. So second pro tip, we're not going to put down any houses to start off with. None, right? We wait for them to ask for the houses, the tents rather. So if we put down like 2 tents and then they ask for it, then we're just building more tents, wasting more wood. So let's only give them exactly what they need. So they need food, let's give them the cookhouse, and we also need a hunter's hut. This is another reason you might want to go with child labor to start off with, because now we have more workers to gather resources while we transfer our regular workers into the hunting role, essentially. So where are we going to put this? Put it here? Yeah, let's just put it there. It's fine. It's connected to a road. It'll be fine. What's the issue over here? You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 40 people. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 80 people. Of course, so they're just asking for tents. We go the easy option. Let's please some of them. We'll actually make that goal. So now we can start building houses. So I've already set up my guide rails here, my guide roads, and it fits in perfectly. How beautiful is that? So my plan here is to essentially have two rings. So we can maybe fill this out with houses, which actually I'm going to do straight off the bat. We might end up moving them later, and I'll tell you why in a second. So we'll have like a break point maybe halfway where we're going to put a bunch of like those bigger, thicker wedges, plots, whatever you want to call them, structures, like all along there, and houses behind, and sort of like vice versa on the other edge. I kind of want to set up 2 specific housing zones because it becomes important when we have you know, in the choose your path area of the game, order or faith, there we have to build buildings that need to project an influence around houses, right? So we need them all bunched up so we can all fit it together. So some of these things might be moved. Like I'd probably want to put a church here if we go, or a faith house, whatever it's called, if we go for the faith path. We'll see how we go. The wisdom of the crowd, Captain, when facing demands, remember this: people usually look for the quickest solution, not the best one. You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problems your way, it's fine. See what I'm saying? Yeah, look. There you go. So now our housing situation is sorted. Let's speed up time while this is getting built. Ooh, I've noticed that we haven't got roads. This is probably like the most efficient I've ever played a video game on this channel. Okay, so we've got children. We've got children to put to work, which we will do shortly, make no mistake. Okay, people from the convoy. Now, look, listen. I've been through this so many times, I'm just kind of automatic with it. It wants the workshop. I know it does. That's the next step. So our cookhouse is ready to go. I'm going to staff it with kids. It's not a dangerous job, and kids can do it. What kids cannot do, however, is work the hunter's hut. So we need to find a... perfect. Over here, this wood pile, we're going to remove all the adult workers and refill it. Shelter promise fulfilled, you know how it goes. And we're going to refill it with children. It's not maxed out, but we kind of need the food too. See what I'm... So listen, I'm pretty proud of this play. Someone would have worked this out in 5 seconds, but listen, I get to lord over you a little bit, having 20 hours in the game before full release. So you know, just let me have my moment of knowing more than you, just for the moment. I know you'll surpass me, but let me just have my moment. Okay, so let's go over to tech and build that workshop, and as you can see, fits in perfectly to our second fat ring over here. See what I mean? It's all nice and uniform and beautiful. And you might say, Rick, stop being a perfectionist penis, just put things wherever. I hear what you're saying, but also hear what I'm saying. When it all fits together nicely, like a nice dank jigsaw puzzle, then you can fit more shit in. It's beautiful, and more importantly, you can fit more shit in within the heat radius of the generator. So there's nothing to do now except play the waiting game. We could pass another law. Oh, look. Yeah, let's pass the emergency shift law. That's hard to say, because eventually, and by eventually I mean like as soon as possible, I want the extended shift law. I find that personally very useful, because it's kind of like it's emergency shift light. I want a lot of resources I want to like a lot of this specific resource, or I want to research just for a little bit more to push out this specific research project, but I don't want to overtax my citizens by making them work through the night. You know how it goes. All right, so that's getting built. Our food is currently all right, but it will go to pot very quickly. That's something I've noticed. I underestimated our food production in the last playthrough. Ooh, we need to employ engineers. Okay, let's pause it. Where have we got engineers? So you just hover over here and it's going to show you. The engineer icon, of course, is the one with the cog. So we've got engineers over here working at our... That's really it. Just grabbing some wood over here. There's 60 of it left. Let's grab just 5 engineers. We only need the 5, and let's staff them over at the workshop. Now we can go research the beacon, which is going to allow us to go explore. And this, I'm telling you guys, I feel like that's the play. You gotta rush the beacon. That's the be-all and end-all in the first few minutes of gameplay here. Because once you get that dank beacon, the whole world opens up. Okay, we've got an injured child here. A child got distracted at work and has been injured. Listen, they probably burnt themselves with a pot. The fucking children these days. Kids, huh? Am I right? Get off my lawn. The accident was not serious and happened entirely due to the child's carelessness. I told you! To fire it! Fire the kid. Give this kid a day off or scold this child for being careless. Listen, hope will fall if we scold the child. This child won't work for 24 hours. Hope will rise slightly. I'm going to take the hope hit just for a little bit. And I'm going to say, which resource don't we need right now? Let's have a look what's going on over here. What do we got? Pretty sure this is just going to be a story prompt. Family torn apart, yeah. So a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with a main group, but she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. I'm going as fast as I can, baby. I'm going as fast as I can. We're almost there. We're almost there. So we can't do anything currently. We do have the emergency shift. If it comes to that, I want to get it done this day. So we've got, what, 4 hours left? 4 hours and 11 minutes left to get this research done. I think it can be done. Something I want to do, though, is... I want to keep those blokes on steel. And coal is very important. So let's pull a single child off of that wood crate collection, and we'll drop him in the cookhouse for now. We're going to get that other kid back that was injured in 24 hours time, so it's not too much of a problem. Oh, am I optimistic about this? He's done it. Alright, now what next? Listen, as far as I'm concerned, we're going to go either faster gathering or hunter's gear. Now, faster gathering seems like a temporary bonus, right? So employing better tools and methods, people gathering resources from coal piles, wood crates, and steel wreckage will work 15% faster whether using gathering posts or not. Right, so this is going to be useful right now to speed up our resource collection, but it means our resource collection, our resource deposits are going to run out quicker as well. After that, I think it's only going to be useful if we're using the coal thumper, which is a device that brings up coal from below the ground for us to then collect. Our other options for resource gathering, sawmill is directly from the source, so there's no gathering post. Same with steel and same with the coal mine. So I kind of feel like after a certain point, faster gathering becomes useless. That's my interpretation of that. So right now, I think I'd rather improve the gatherer's gear. Thanks to better snowshoes and enhanced camouflage, hunters setting out from the hunter's hut will return with more raw food from each hunt, up to 20 raw food per hunt, as opposed to 15. So I am going to spend 10 wood to grab that, because I feel like that's going to be very useful. We are going to have to build a second hunter's hut fairly soon, I think, unless we rush the farm technology, which I don't think I see us doing necessarily. Alright, so what's going on? We've got some sick people. We should probably tend to that. That's just more engineers peeling off our resource production that we have to put into services for the community. I'm not a big fan of it, but nevertheless, let's put down a medical post right here, and we'll see how we go there. So where are our engineers at? They're at the steel and they're at the wood. I feel like I'd like to... I don't know how I feel. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of a boost of steel, so maybe I'll take them off the wood. Let's see how we go. I mean, it's just for now, right? It's just for now because soon we're going to have more settlers, more citizens, which reminds me, we should already have built the beacon, but we can't because we need the steel. Yes, okay. I knew I needed steel for something. So I'm tempted. I mean, it's the end of the day. It's the end of the day, dude. Fuck it. Do an all-night shift for me, please, Daddy. In fact, I'm going to maximize it by putting everyone on it. I want a 24-hour shift, please, of steel. Give it to me. Put it inside and around my mouth. Secondly, let's go for extended shift. All right. That's burning some discontent, but we need it. All right, so we got that steel. Beautiful. In like 2 seconds. So let's find a place for the beacon. Now, we could put it here, absolutely, but it seems like a little bit of a waste. The beacon doesn't need heat, I don't think, at all. So we can pretty much, we can put it wherever the fuck we want. You know what? I think I'm going to put it over here. It doesn't need to be too far out. This is just, so this is going to be our sort of general living and immediate sundries, like stuff that we need to survive kind of ring, the 2 inner rings. That's how I've managed to play it previously, and then outside of that we can do, you know, eventually we will have to put houses outside of that. Eventually we will, and I have gotten to that. But for the moment I think we're fine. We can always move the beacon. It can be done, and we don't have to disband our scout team to do it. But let's put it there. Notice I put in a little guide there just to make sure. So yeah, I don't know if the devs intend for you to build roads first, but the game seems to kind of like you building roads first. Like I said, because it sort of then makes the plots conform to that. Alright, what do we got? A protective mother. A mother has refused to let her daughter go to work, afraid she'll get injured. We could look the other way this time, but others might see it as unfair. I've actually never let her not go to work, because I'm shit frightened of what's going to happen. Because everyone's going to say, hey, but what about my kid? And then we're not going to have anyone working in the cookhouse, right? So, listen, I'm perfectly happy saying, nah, kid, you're going to work anyway. Get out of here, mom. Because nothing's going to change if we do. It's essentially like, hey, do you want some hope and maybe some consequences? Or do you just, like, business as usual, you know? We also, I just realized we needed to build that road because it wasn't connected otherwise. Now it is. Okay. So we got some spare blokes. We got some kids not doing anything. Kids, what are you doing, buddy? That might have been my fault. Okay, we've depleted that steel. That's not a bad place to be. Just like AC/DC said about hell. Hell ain't a bad place to be. I can't remember. Was it, hang on. Who did that? Was that Brian Johnson era, or was that might have been Bon Scott? So I did the wrong impersonation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've got big balls. Oh, I've got big balls. That's Bon Scott. Terribly, but it's meant to be. All right, beacon build. We're no longer lost and blind. Oh, are we, buddy? Give it time. It's just a different kind of lost and blind. So like I was saying before I went on like 50, like exactly 50 different tangents. I've gotten so far in, like I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So I'm just going to say I've gotten well past the choice that we have to make. Remember I think it was near the beginning of that 3rd episode, before we have to choose a path, or that where we have to choose a path, I've gotten way past that to like the next huge catastrophic event. It goes from bad to worse. It just keeps getting worse and worse. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so now we need to find 5 workers. Where are they? Well, we got 30 guys working on coal. I really wouldn't mind depleting that coal entirely. before we move them, which I'm going to facilitate by saying extended hours on those guys, buddy. So instead of 8 to 1800 hours, it's going to be, which is, what is that, 6? I think that's 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. It's going to be 6 to 2000 hours. Is that how you say that? 2000 hours? 2000 hours? I've always found that strange. 2100 hours, 1900 hours, so I guess it is 2000 hours. That's just very odd. Okay, people cheer as the giant observation balloon soars above the city. This is a real feat. Everyone feels proud of the work they've done to make it happen. Volunteers have lined up, eager to go looking for our lost people in Frostland. The woman who came forward earlier is among them. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. We need the wood though, guys. Let's pull them off wood for now, and let's go make those scouts. So first thing I'm gonna do, ooh, it's really close too, hang on. First thing I'm gonna do is go to the Lost Expedition, because we need them. It's gonna take 10 hours and 48 minutes, so not too long. We're gonna speed up some time here. Our healthcare, there we go, we just depleted a crate. Alright, so let's move them over there. Our healthcare is not great, but I feel like it could be worse. Ooh, is it time to build houses? It might be. I should probably wait to build houses until they actually ask for it. I should follow my own rule. Okay, so our hunter's hut has increased its productivity. As you can see, it's now, we're going to get 20 a day. Still not great, so I wouldn't mind another hunter's hut. Maybe, you know what? It's probably time to do it now, because we're in a state where we haven't got any raw food. Not the end of the world, because we've got a lot of food rations, so no one's going to starve, but we've got no backup. And all I'm going to say is when we get to the point, the furthest point that I've gotten, you need, I got to it, and it's like, hey, you probably need this amount of food to survive mystery, whatever this thing is that I don't want to spoil. And I went, oh shit, I haven't even got a fraction of that. Okay, so I've got like real PTSD about not having enough food right now. So you want to get some food, guys? Hey guys, do you want to go and get some fucking food? Let's get some food. The only thing that's putting me off here is I feel like it's gonna mess up my cool here. It's gonna mess up my plans. You know what? It's fine. I'll probably end up moving the medical post here, and then we'll have the 2 houses there, and they'll be within range of whatever we want to build there to encompass them. That's fine. So we'll put that one there. Let's pick a new research, and I think it's either time to go resources or it's time to go drawing boards. Let's have a look. Oh, it's time to go drawing boards, guys. So it's about to get colder by 2 levels, which means 10 degrees Celsius. So it's currently minus 20, which is fine. It's more than fine. But it's going to become minus 40 very soon. So I don't think we're going to be able to research this in time. We're not going to be able to research this in time. But what I want, we can't afford it. Never mind. What I wanted to do was go to the next tier of research and get the generator upgrade so that we could survive the really harsh minus 40 degree weather, and then we'd get the generator range upgrade, which would extend that level of heat out, right? So that we can put houses around here, and for example, those houses won't die. Look, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine once this cold front comes in. They're just not going to be happy. All right. So right now we need to spend a little bit of wood to build that road. I think it's just 1 to build that little chunk. All right, resources. Clearly our resources are hurting, so let's go fix it up. So we're probably fine for coal for a little while. So let's go for the sawmill. We definitely need that because our wood production is slacking. There we go. That child has come back to work. Let's speed up time here while they build that. And we just got wood crates depleted over there. We do have more wood crates over here, but we're going to need, folks, to man this boy. There you go. Oh! We just depleted our coal. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to say 15 boys on the wood. Let's send another... What are we looking at here? Oh, we're looking at kids and engineers. Not ideal. But if it's temporary, right? So let's increase the work hours there and also here. It just, listen, it's just a small discontent hit. Soon, we're going to have enough boys to staff everything we want. Here we go. No roof over our heads. Captain, people are understandably concerned about the lack of shelter. They're falling ill from sleeping outside in this terrible cold. We'd better do something about this. Alright. I'll build 2 tents. You needy blokes. See why we need so much wood? I'm real mad. How we gonna swing this? I want to leave that open for some big buildings that we will have later. So let's just put them there. They might be temporary, but let's see how we go. Chances are we might be able to cover all of these blokes with whatever we end up building here. It seems like the guard towers are, as opposed to the faith. What are they called? I don't know. The churches, essentially. They're a little easier to build because they've got a smaller footprint. They also look cooler because they're towers. Let's not mince our words here. Alright, so we've got some blokes waiting. Let's explore the situation. We enter the camp appearing out of the driven snow. Driven? Driving? Driven. Maybe the driven. A choir of excited voices welcomes us. Thank God you found us. We'd been wandering for days, and until we go any longer, soon we begin to starve. Children and adults surround us, packed and ready to go. Sites discovered, crash site, sturdy shelter. Let's escort them home. We're going to get 4 children, 9 engineers, and 22 adult workers. Can I get a yes? So we've got the sturdy shelter over here, the crash site, and the observatory there. See how things change? It's pretty cool. Alright. I have seen little teaser footage of the other scenarios, and I'm really excited to see the different shaped craters. But look, this is what we got for now. So let's make the best of the freezing situation. Shelter, promise fulfilled. Let me tell you, when I got really far, and then just got stomped, like ruffle stomped, really, if we're gonna get down to brass tacks here. It was real bad. It was very embarrassing. My hope was through the roof. People were so hopeful until the thing happened, and then it all went to pot. Alright, the scouts have returned. Look at these blokes go. It's beautiful. How are they going to get down into this hole? It's an age-old question. Age-old question. People from our convoy, reunions. It's heartwarming to see families reunited after so many hardships. But shouldn't there be some other settlements nearby? The first expeditions left London long ago. They ought to be well established by now. Will surely help us find our footing. Yeah, okay. Listen, maybe. So let's send our blokes out. They don't mind the cold. They're fine with it. I'm actually going to rush the story a little bit. Because it has some useful stuff. So let's go to the sturdy shelter. A bulky cylindrical structure stands on a small hill. The Union Jack flies over it, but there's no sign of movement. So we can actually engage in research that will allow us to exploration. More scouts. So it's like that second tier of research. We just need to gather more wood. Yes. Search for others. We're doing it, boys. Okay, let's speed up our situation here a little bit. We can also build more workshops so we can complete research quicker. But we don't need to do that right now. Oh, I forgot. We've got folks who can do some work, and so let's just put them on everything, I guess. We're left over with 5 children. And good news, maybe because we built those tents, but we're now treating, we've only got 5 sick and a capacity of healing 5 sick, and we're doing it. There's no overflow yet. So we're in good hands. So this is not a great situation. Maybe we should be overdriving the generator here. The only problem with that is we've got 2 tents back here that are not receiving any love. Is that bad on my part? Is that a bad idea? Probably, yes. But it's all part of the plan, because eventually we're going to be able to heat that no problem. Like, seriously, it's not even going to be a problem. 40 below is going to be, we're like, please, I eat like 50 below for breakfast, is essentially how we're going to feel about the whole situation. We can afford the next tier of research here, but I feel like we should probably start with a sawmill. Okay. Alright. This seems nice. Building here will destroy resource adjacent to other... Yeah, I mean, let's just put it there. It's easy. We don't have to build much of a road, and it's pretty close. Not perfect placement, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's easy and it can get done quick. Beautiful. Okay, while we're waiting for that, let's increase the shift on that wood. Good. What do we got over here? Double rations for kids in the wake of recent child workers accident. Okay. The parents argue that we could give working children double rations to make them stronger and help prevent injuries. If it actually does help prevent injuries, I'll say yes. Working children will eat double rations, hope will rise, or nothing will change. Alright, to this one I'm going to say, buddy, yes. We got an achievement for it? What do you got for me, pal? Give child workers extra rations. Please, sir, I want some more, is the name of the achievement, and I have procured it for you. All hail the grand, benevolent Ricky Summer. How ironic. Ricky Summer playing Frostpunk. Okay. Frostbite. One of our people has become gravely ill due to frostbite. This will keep happening if people have to work in such cold. Could I have avoided that? Yes, maybe, very much. Okay, so we've got two options here. We can do sustain life. If you remember, you know, from my previous videos, either we can keep them alive here. They don't work. We keep them alive, but they're a burden on the system. And they stop being a burden on the system only when we can actually treat them with a higher research tier medical building, right? So we need to build an infirmary. We haven't got the means to build an infirmary for quite some time. Alternatively, we say radical treatment, where we actually amputate and they can't work at all, but at least they're out of the medical posts and new sick can come in and get healed. Eventually, these blokes can get prosthetics and they become useful again. So I always go radical treatment. I always go radical treatment. I know it's a little bit of a band-aid. I know. But that's just the way I roll. What's going on here? Do we not have any more children? We have no children? That's rude. That's rude. We need 10 boys for the... We're pinching from the wood to give to the wood. But it's fine. So this is, we're going to get 1,200 wood here. It's a slow... See, look, it's a slower income, though. It is a slower income. Is that right? That's up... It is a slower income. That seems pretty rude. Alright, so let's go for that research. Drawing boards. I am ready for it. Take me to the promised land. So we've got 2 hunters' huts working. They have been upgraded, so we're getting 40 raw food a day. Let's just double check. Cookhouse will produce 4 food rations from 2 raw food, so that is 80 food a day. Is that correct? Because we're essentially doubling it? Yeah? Math. Alright. That seems good, guys. I think that seems good. I don't think that's enough for everyone, is it? Unless... Don't ask me, dude. Don't ask me. I'm assuming everyone gets 1 ration, but who knows? Who honestly knows? We've got a problem where we're starting to get sick. As in, we're getting people who are sick. I'm referring to them as the sick, as if they're another species entirely. I don't want to deal with them. So let's build another... Oh, God, no. Why? Let's build another medical post. So we can nip this in the bud. Is it nip it in the bud? I never understood that. I feel like I'd rather nip it in the butt. It's like, oh, you're being a naughty little bastard. Let me just pinch you there to teach you a lesson. That's how I picture it, at least. What is a bud to nip? I mean, are we talking like flowers here? I don't like flowers. Okay, where we got some NG boys? Over here? And a lot over there. See, I don't like my engineers doing things. I need them for, like, for busy work. Let's pull them from steel, because we don't need steel at this very minute. But we could use some wood. Find another settlement. Yeah, we're doing that. We're getting to it. So we've got a capacity for 10 blokes in sickbay, which we are currently dealing with. Soon-ish, our temperature, the weather temp is going to rise to minus 30 degrees Celsius, so that's a little bit better. We're probably going to run out of generator juice. Not run out of coal, but we're going to run out of it's going to burst, you know? So we'll have to turn off overdrive. So we'll have a little bit, like, we'll probably have like a night of really deep, dank cold. Alright, so what are we dealing with here? We're getting the next tier upgrade. I kind of want to do that before I shut off here. Let's actually pump that. Discontent is starting to rise. I'm not... I don't want to necessarily do an all-night shift. I've just missed some precious minutes over here. The shelter is well supplied. Search might provide food rations, wood, and steam cores. I wouldn't mind some wood and food rations. Here we go. The shelter is comfortable and well equipped with emergency supplies. There's a notice, it's late, posted by the heavy round door. To all scientists, if you use any supplies, remember to notify the quartermaster upon your return to the city. This means there's another city out there. A signpost by the trail points in two directions. London, 1,934 miles. Home, 27 miles. Sites discovered, steel bridge. Take the resources. Whoa, 222 food? I mean, wood? 998 food. Not bad. Steam cores are very important. They become very important later on. Let's go the steel bridge, and then I think I'm going to bring my boys back, you know? I think I'm going to bring my boys back, because we need to get them to drop off the resources. We're currently in a really good place for coal, but that's going to change real quick. As you can see, we've now reached critical pressure on the generator. I'm going to pump it just a little bit more until it actually gives me the warning. Yeah, turn off the overdrive, buddy. All right, I'll do that. I'll do that for you. It's still going to be a little while until the temperature drops. So we're going to have to deal with a cold one. And I don't mean a nice, refreshing beer. Oh, it's raised. Our per hour has raised. So it's actually now more efficient than just grabbing it on the floor. I think that's good. I think that's good. So you notice I haven't used any gathering posts. Maybe that's bad play on my part. I tend not to like them because it's, for example, if you put a gathering post here, you're gathering 2 lots of wood and steel with 10 blokes. So it's diverse. You got 10 blokes as opposed to, what, 45? Yeah? 15 times 3? Don't judge me, I was terrible at math. Instead of, you know, a hell of a lot more blokes picking up that stuff. But it's a lot slower. You know? So it's diverse, but it's a lot slower. I don't know, I guess it's a trade-off. It's a personal choice. I think the gathering post becomes useful if you want to use the coal thumper, for example. Which I think, oh god, are we going to do that? We probably should. We can bypass the coal thumper entirely, you know. For example, we can just research coal mining right now, and done. There you go. How you doing? How's your father? Alright, we need, what's more important right now? Generator range or generator power? How much do they both cost? They're identical. We can afford them both. Let's go for generator range to start off with, because I don't think generator range. Note, the coal use by the generator is doubled when this setting is in use. Oh, it is? Damn it. Let's go for range. The temperature's gonna rise a little bit pretty soon, so we'll be all right. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye. Rockabye. Do. Everything. I just want to, mild frostbite citizen becomes gravely ill. I don't like that. I don't like that, guys. We probably should pass another law, too, if we can swing it. So we could do, like, fighting pits for the fighting arena, but I don't think... It's gonna lower some discontent. which might actually be worth it. I'm not going to sign any of the cemetery laws until we actually get a dead person. No one's died yet, guys. Alright? Just take note of that. No one's died in 40 minutes. I'm the greatest. Care house. This is not a bad idea, actually. The gravely ill and amputees will be cared for at a lower cost in special homes. So new building, care house. The gravely ill are kept alive in care houses and no longer burden the medical posts. Oh, baby, let's go. Residents of care houses eat half as much. Hope will rise slightly. I'm gonna sign it. I'm gonna sign it. We get some dank hope. I'm gonna pause it here and let's put down a hot little care house. Now, the care house, let me tell you, is insulated, right? So something to take note of here. Base heating level, okay? So the medical post, heating level of 1, needs to go on the inner ring to start off with. It needs to, otherwise it's going to freeze. The base heating level of the care house is level 2. So it can be popped out a little bit, just like the hunter's hut, which is level 2. But the cook house is level 1. See what I'm saying? So there are some buildings that you can afford to put out a little further so you can save space for the buildings that need it. As a side note, we can upgrade through research. We can upgrade the tents to be eventually proper homes that are well insulated, so we can build them a little further out, which we might end up needing to at some point. But for the moment, let's put the care house right here on that second row. We might end up eventually putting an infirmary in there to fill the space, but we'll see how we go. That might be a little ways off. I don't know. We'll see how we go. So, pretty sure the care house does not require workers. It just gets filled up. There we go. Care house promise fulfilled. Hope rises. Discontent has gone down. And are we going to see a noticeable decrease in going to treatment? Going to treatment. About a day. Going to treatment. Going to treatment. Oh, shit. What? We got 16 sick people. 3 of them gravely ill. Dude, that's not a good place to be. Unlike hell, which I'm given to understand is a good place to, or rather ain't a bad place to be. Is that the same thing? Who rightly knows? Let's put our remainder boys on coal just real quick. Okay, so I want to show you this and then we're going to get out of here. A brass plaque on the bridge tower reads, built by the people of Winterhome in AD 1887. So this is the 1800s, guys, in some sort of, you know, alternate past, I guess, with fantastical machines and huge generators. The bridge is kept completely snow-free by a working automaton. Ooh. We stopped at the edge of the deep, wide ravine, marveling at the steel bridge spanning it, even more so at the huge automaton sweeping snow from the roadway. If it would be possible to send the machine back to our city, or disassemble it for resources. Ooh, we go. So we got a choice. We either get 88 steel and 2 steam cores, which is potentially huge, or we just send it back home. I'm going to send it back home because I want to show you guys automatons. I'm actually not a huge fan of them, but maybe they can be upgraded. I'm not sure. I think maybe they can. We reprogrammed the automatons and sent it on its way as it disappeared in the distance, walking steadily towards our city. The first wisps of snow started to settle on the bridge. We've ruined it all. We've ruined it. So what have we got over here? We've got a couple of boys out in the wilderness with a decent amount of food, a hell of a lot of wood, which we could use, and a steam core. So I'm just going to send it back home. We can send them out again in a jiff. So that's going to take 15 hours to get back home. The automaton is a slower boy, so it's going to take a day and 18 hours. Jesus, but I'll tell you what, the automaton allows us to staff a structure. I don't think it works on all of them, but it works on a surprising amount of them. It allows us to staff... oh, Jesus, excuse me. It allows us to staff a structure, without having to waste any blokes on it. It's fantastic. So, what else do we want to do here? Food and health. I think we need a hothouse, guys. We can also upgrade our tents to bunkhouses if we want, or medical post upgrade. Honestly, we need all of these. Our food is starting to dwindle. Maybe we don't need the hothouse right now. Because we've got a food influx coming in pretty soon. Finding the bridge to Winterhome proved that we're on the right track, but raised questions. Why was the bridge deserted? Why wasn't the automaton under the care of an engineer. There are logical explanations to it all, but people are growing anxious. People are growing anxious. Here we go. The lack of homes stirs anger. Captain, an angry crowd is protesting, pushed over the edge by prolonged homelessness. People demand that you address their problems immediately. Fine. I'll house 36 people. Yeah, Rudy. So, as you can see, we got the range upgrade. So once the temperature drops, we're actually going to be pretty alright. Everything's going to be real alright. Everything is gone. I'm sorry about that one. I butchered that real hard. This is starting to become a little bit of a mess. Can I be honest with you? I've built myself into a real dank corner. Will I be able to get out of it? Hey, find out next time. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying Frostpunk so far. Hey, look, don't forget, it's fully out and released now, so you can use my GOG link if you want to go grab it DRM free, but no pressure. Hey, how you doing? Taste the game, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.